What's going on, everybody? This is Crackcore. You tuned in again. Thank you very much for tuning in. So we're going to be talking about this petrol bollocks, the fuel shortage. Wow, I mean, God, it's starting to take the piss now, isn't it? I'm on my way home, okay, and I've just had to divert my own route that I usually take twice because of people queuing for fuel and blocking the fucking roads. Now, come on, people. Surely you've got to fucking realise by now that by doing what you're doing, you're actually creating the shortage. Because if everybody just went around, went about their business normally and just bought petrol as and when they needed it, instead of going out there and just buying everything that they possibly can, there wouldn't be a shortage. The fucking media. God, what the fucking are the media doing? Like, the media fucking tell you all kinds of stuff. Like, oh, well, we're thinking there's going to be a petrol shortage. And then everybody rushes out. To me, it just seems like a fucking plan. Because why would they do that? If there was a meteorite heading towards Earth, they wouldn't fucking tell you about it because they wouldn't want mass panic. That's what they would tell you. Oh, we're not going to tell the public because we don't want mass panic. So we'll keep it to ourselves until the very last minute. And, let the people deal with it as and when. In the last 24 hours of human existence, we'll tell them then. While they're getting themselves prepared in the bunkers underground. That's what would happen. So you've got to say to yourself, well, why then have they told you something that's created mass panic? Well, it's because they want you to panic. It's as simple as that. They've told you because they want this. They want people rushing around, buying fucking fuel, causing mayhem. They want confusion. They want to make people think that there is something worth panicking about. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. This is fucking, it's getting stupid now. You've got to try and pick the route that you drive home based on whether or not there's a fucking petrol station on the way. Because if there is, you better fucking make sure that you don't go that way because the road's going to be blocked. Fucking idiots. Somebody told me today that there was a group of people queuing for hours to get into a fucking petrol station. And because somebody cut in, I mean, yeah, it's rude. You shouldn't be fucking cutting into any queue, really. If people have been queuing for hours, it's just not cricket, is it? But anyway, somebody cut in, probably because they're desperate for petrol. They're desperate for fucking fuel. But anyway, they've cut in, and somebody else has gotten out of their car and smacked them. They've basically gotten chest to chest like a couple of fucking gorillas. And one of them, the guy who was waiting there, in the queue, smacked the other one. Sparked him out. And you think to yourself, this is what it's becoming. Society is fucking eating itself. Now what's going to happen then? When the food runs out? Because they're already saying that there's food shortages because, of the fucking the Brexit stuff. Apparently this is what it's about. So they're telling you now there's going to be food shortages as well, which there already is. If you go to any supermarket, I've already done a couple of videos on this. If you go to any supermarket, you'll see half the shelves are fucking empty. Now, what's going to happen then when there's no food? Because we can get by without petrol. We can get by without petrol. We can walk to work. We can, get that bicycle out of the garage and dust it off and cycle to work. We can get the bus, we can get the tram. There is public transport, where there's a will, there's a way, basically. You don't have to have a car to get about. I mean, maybe you're living in the middle of nowhere and you can't get to work without a car. But yet, if you're living in the middle of nowhere, judging by what's just happened the last 2 years, you've probably been working from home anyway, haven't you? So if you can't get to work because of a fuel shortage, then you can probably work from home for a couple of days, right? So, really, if you look at it, fucking hell, is there really any need? Because we can all get by without it. We like the convenience of having a car, don't we? But we can get by without one, is what I'm saying. But you can't get by without food. We need food to survive. It's probably, one of the most important things that we need. So, I mean, what the fuck's going to happen when the food finally runs out? Because it will. If it's happening with petrol, it'll happen with food as well. Mark my words. They're already planting the seeds, aren't they? And saying, shortages here and shortages there, lorry drivers not able to deliver this and that. So they're already telling you it's going to happen. So basically, infrastructure, the infrastructure of society is now falling apart. For whatever reason that may be, whether it's all been a big plan, whether the whole Brexit thing was done just in time for COVID, it all seems extremely, just convenient, doesn't it? It's all very convenient. Of course, I'm clutching at straws here. Probably putting two and two together and making 5. But it's not beyond the realms of possibility now, is it? When you consider that quite a lot of this stuff that's been going on over the past 2 years with COVID is most likely just been a big old fucking plan. If not from the very start, it's been capitalised upon and therefore become a plan. So, too many people are making too much money. And too many people are gaining too much power to want to let this stop. So, it all seems very convenient, doesn't it? You get Brexit, which is, a little fucking something for, down the road when you need to use it. It's a bit like an ace in the hole, isn't it? Oh, yeah, well, we can just blame all of this stuff on Brexit. When we start tightening tightening the noose on society, and we want society to come apart when it's all nice and stressed. We want to stretch society out to the point where people are at the end of their fucking ropes. And then when nobody has got any patience anymore and nobody really gives a shit about anybody anymore, and everybody's fucking hell-bent on thinking that everybody else is selfish when they themselves are acting selfishly. When everybody's forgotten how to live with one another because we forced them to live apart for such a long time. So there's no social kind of structure anymore. It's just we've basically turned it into a dog-eat-dog society. Survival of the fittest, fight or flight. When we've filled everybody with that type of fucking feeling and that emotion, when we've created that level of society, what we'll do is we'll start taking things away. Like the basic commodities in life that people become accustomed to and take for granted, like being able to jump in your car whenever you want and go wherever you need to go. Then it'll be, like I said, taking away the food. And then you see, once they've got people in a state where, everything is now becoming scarce, what would they do? Well, they're probably going to prioritise these commodities, aren't they? Of course they are. Oh, look at this. Another fucking traffic jam in front of me. Oh yeah, but sorry, there's 2 petrol stations down here. Fucking whoopee, you know, Jesus Christ. So, you know, they're probably going to start prioritising, and I did say this before, they're probably going to start prioritising who gets what. And I wonder who the priority is going to go to. Well, considering that over in Australia, they're saying that you can only have freedom if you have a vaccine. Well, I dare say, based on that, again, it's not beyond the realms of possibility, is it? To say that probably, in all likelihood, those that have been vaccinated against COVID-19 would take priority over who gets what with regards to going shopping for general things like fucking bread and milk and fucking cheese and just things, you know, that you need to survive, like just food in general, you know, I dare say. And then, because society is already frayed at this point, tempers are flared because of, you know, all the stress that has been put on society for such a long time at this point, then you'll get civil fucking war, won't you? You know, you'll get the fucking public fighting amongst themselves to survive. Because at this point it is about survival. And you've got the government that's created now a 2-tier fucking society where you've got the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, which means the people that have got priority and the people that haven't. And this is by no fault of anybody's other than those people that didn't realise that this was all about fucking freedom and chose not to fight for freedom regardless of their own fucking personal bias. Because that's what this has come down to. And, I mean, obviously I'm projecting into the possible future here, but in order to understand where we might go in the future, you've got to fucking look at what's happening now and make presumptions. You've got to do that. You've got to think, well, based on what's happening now, what could happen? If you don't, well, you're going to end up somewhere that you perhaps could have prevented. Now, everybody at the minute, they're driving around and they think, oh, well, you know, this is just about a fuel shortage. But it's not, man. It's about more than that. Like I've said, in my opinion, it's all a fucking great big plan. So, you've heard my thoughts on this. If you've got any thoughts and opinions on what it is I've said, then please feel free to leave comments and let me know what your thoughts are, because this is affecting everybody. So I'm sure that everybody's got an opinion, and I'd love to hear those opinions. And in the future, there might be an opportunity to have questions answered actually on the fly. There might be a couple of live streams that I'd be willing to do, maybe with a couple of other people on like a Skype call or something like that. I don't know how it works. I've never done a live YouTube video before. But, you know, potentially for the future, if people want to get into sending questions and stuff and giving opinions, we can have an actual debate, a live debate. But for now, you know, this is obviously affecting you too. So let me know how you feel and leave a comment, and we can have a video perhaps based on the questions and the comments that have been left on this subject, because I feel as though we need to start doing that at some point. We need to start having some form of dialogue between ourselves, because through the dialogue we can start understanding how this is affecting each other, and then move forward with some form of perhaps empathy and, you know, consideration for other people. Because as long as we don't consider other people, well, we'll continue to end up in these types of situations, won't we? And the only way we can have an insight into somebody else, into somebody else's experience and how certain things are affecting them, is to have a conversation, is to share what is our experience with each other and have dialogue. You know, so let's do it. Let's do it. I mean, let's just be a society here. Because so long as we keep fucking thinking of ourselves constantly and being selfish, well, like I've said, you're just going to get situations like what's happening right now, where shortages are being created by the mass panic that is being created by the people that it benefits. Once again, you know, we are faced with a situation where a group of people are filling you with fear and fucking panic that basically only really benefits them. It benefits them for you to be afraid. It benefits them for you to be panicked. And it benefits them for you to be confused, because it then gives them power and the ability to it gives them the power to take fucking more power away from you, and it also gives them the ability to make a lot of fucking money. And it's all about power and money for these people. So let's not give them that power. Let's take that power back to ourselves. You know, and let's just, I don't know, be a society and communicate with one another. All right? And on that note, I'm going to wish you all love and peace. I'm going to say love and peace to all things everywhere. This is Crack Course signing off. Peace.